Branded content is a big buzz, and I suppose all the advertisers are saying, well, I've got to have a content strategy. You know, it started off with their website and then was probably their social strategy. But the fact is that you can build the most amazing brand experience, but if it isn't sort of driven by media in some way, it's a bit like building a cathedral in the desert. You know, nobody's going to find it. But now we've got these amazing channels, you know, or even a video, for example, where YouTube is a great example. But there's also streaming media. You can put things over Facebook. You can put things over Twitter, where you can establish a brand position. And some have done it really famously, like Red Bull, who probably owned the most famous branded content moment ever when Felix Baumgartner jumped 25 miles out of the sky, and everybody in the world seemed to want to use it, and it practically broke the web. You know, if you use that as the best example, then you know there are so many things you can do to express your brand identity. And that wasn't just a gimmick. You know, the fact that he actually had wings, and you know, Red Bull gives you wings, was a perfect expression of that brand. Mobile hit £1 billion revenue in 2013, and I think for 2014 we expect it to be 50 or 60% higher than that. So it's quite a high revenue earner in the UK. But the more important thing is actually the audience. And in Q4 2014, that was the first quarter where we saw all internet traffic, half of all internet traffic going to mobile everywhere, not just in the obvious mobile channels like Twitter, but across the web in the UK. But it's actually under-invested according to that time spent. The fastest growing format on mobile is mobile video. But of course, our mobiles, whether they're a Samsung Galaxy or an iPhone 6, they're a good size to actually view video on, and it works. And the attention from consumers is good because the proximity is close. So, it's, you know, how can I actually do that? How do I place it? Is it just a tele ad, or do I need to make something special? Is it a 15-second thing? There are a lot of those sorts of questions going on, and I can see that, you know, that mobile revenue in the UK is going to hurtle towards 3 billion before we know it over the next couple of years. My advice to brands for them to take advantage of this movement in technology is to probably look close to home to begin with. Look at your own infrastructure within your company to make sure that you're transforming yourselves ready for the digital future. And if you have consumers transacting with you online, spending time with your brand online or your website or your mobile sites, you are sitting on a mountain of gold dust. It's fantastic data that you have there, which we call first-party data, so you know what your consumers are doing all day long. Now, as you work through that with your media plan, that becomes your virtual data planning system. It becomes your media planning system to inform your agencies to work on your behalf, and will also help with your customer service departments, your sales departments, and that the whole song and dance needs to work together for the future across these digital platforms. And I think it's working out your data strategy is probably going to be the most important thing.